you need to know where you are so you know where you are going. Like a GPS, when you put the address where you want to go, but the GPS know exactly, it tracks you where you are exactly, so it know where to take you from the place where you already are. So the same with goals, or the same with like preparing for the 2025. As 2024 is at the end of this beautiful, amazing, crazy year, it's important to sit and think of, what do I want my next year to look like, to feel like, to be like? What do I want to be like in 2025? But to do that, to know where you want to go, you need to know where you are today. And it's important to bring up reflection, your highlights, the hardest moments in 2024, the highlights, the achievements, the wins, the celebration, the failures, the lessons, the self-reflection. All of these are so important to literally sit down and write it down on a notebook, on a journal, making a mind map or a visual or a vision board, whatever that is for you. It's important to focus on. As tonight, I keep every Monday, I keep a conversation, a group call. It's a free group call. It's called Meaningful Conversations, and it's held every Monday. I'm hosting it every Monday. I was thinking that now as November and December is here, I wanted to focus on be proactive and bring in the topic of our meaningful conversation called discussion, is to bring this idea that let's be proactive and don't wait until January to actually do our resolutions and ideals and goals for next year. But do it now. Do it in November. So then when December comes and you get with the hype of the holidays, with the rushing to buy presents and traveling to see family and so on, or have family coming to you, you're not going to have time for you to sit down and write all these things down, reflect over this year, prepare for next year. So that's why I decided to bring this idea of, let's have some reflection of this year now, before, and be proactive. And that's what we discussed in our call. And what came up, one thing was that as much as we're looking forward for a new year to make it even better, also it's important to balance it with what we have learned from this year, what this 2024 taught you, what you have learned about yourself in 2024. What was your highlights? What was your hardest aspect of this year? What was the things you're proud of? What were the things you're less proud of? What was the biggest lesson or your biggest takeaway from this in a word or in a sentence? Things that I highly recommend to actually sit it down and write it down. Not just think of it, but actually write it down. Take a moment for you, because it's so important to take that moment to write it down. And this is what I do. I have my journal, and of course I have a lot of papers and things around it, but I have my journal, and then I start writing the questions, and then I left at least 2 pages for each question, and I give myself for the next couple of days, open it and see which question do I want to answer and which one wants to come first, and write it down. And sometimes it is important to even write it down with your non-dominant hand. As an example, exercise I shared in our meaningful conversation call, it was write down the question with your dominant hand, like for me it's the right hand, and then answer with your non-dominant hand. It might feel weird because you're like not writing properly with the other hand and you kind of feel like a child writing, but that's where the key is. That's where the science is. To actually sit down and write it with your dominant hand, because that's when you're not rushing, that you're taking your time to write, and then you're using different parts of your brain to allow that creativity, to allow those parts to come up and speak. And it's a powerful exercise that I highly recommend to you to use. So I'm sharing all of this with you, that maybe you are thinking to prepare for the next year coming. And also it's important to reflect where you are today, what you have learned from this amazing, crazy year, and what would you like to do different, what would you like to keep, and what would you like to do something new and what would you like to stop of doing in the next year coming. So I hope this helps you. Highly recommend to do these exercises. Please share. We'll love to contact me personally if you don't want to share it in the comments, or share some of that in the, if you are brave and vulnerable to share it in your comments, some of your takeaways of this year or reflection of this year's, and let me celebrate you with your own celebration of 2024. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support and your love and your comments. They mean a lot to me. I brings a smile in my face every time I read your guys' comments. Thank you. And also, if you didn't subscribe yet, please subscribe. It takes you a moment. Just go now below. You see that button? Just press subscribe. It takes you a millisecond to just press it. Did you do it? Do it? Okay, thank you. So press it. And when you do that, you support me and help me to continue to bring this content for you every single day, as I committed to you and I committed to me on this journey. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, you know the deal. Live your life like it's truly yours. Bye-bye.